adding page numbers. And to add page numbers, we need to start with a text box. Am I not in the right app? There we go. There we go. So this is typically the cover and we don't put a page number on it. And usually page 3 ends up being our first page. So let me ask you guys this, before I get too far, let me have you guys either create the booklet that you guys will use for your final. So take a minute to start a new document. You can change the dimensions later. Or if you've started your booklet, why don't you guys go ahead and open it? Yeah? Yep. So now that we've got this book started, again, even though this is technically our first page, it even says page 1 right there, I want page 1 to start on page 3 as. Because remember, if it's a booklet, it's usually folded like this, so when I open it, this is usually my first page. Everybody with me on that one? Yeah? So, first page, back of first page, or cover, and then here's where I want page 1 to be. So to even put in a page number, you have to start with the text box. So you can type in T and then draw your frame, or you can draw you can hit F for frame, either way. But go ahead and get a text box in the bottom right hand corner for me, just like this. And make sure you've got your cursor ready to go. And then from there, I'll show you guys how to pop in the page number.
Was your orientation landscape?
Nope, I'm square, so it doesn't matter. I'm an 8x8, but you can do whatever size you'd like. Everybody got that okay? So after you get in a text frame, what you'll need to do is go to Type, Insert Special Character, Markers, Current Page Number. So I'll hang out there for a minute. It's definitely not an intuitive menu to find, but Type, Special Character, Markers, Current Page Number. Everybody found that? There's also a shortcut, Control-Alt-Shift-N. I'll try that. I've never used that one before, but there we go. Once your page number is in, though, it still needs to be formatted, right? Don't forget that. So for this one, I want to highlight it, and I want its font to match all of my other fonts. So whatever font you're using or think you'll use, go ahead and find it. I also want to right justify it. And then once you get it right justified, we're going to come out of the text box, grab the frame, and do one more thing to format it. Okay, is everybody at their text box? Yep. So in your text frame, the last thing that I want you guys to do, and I'm going to go the old school way just because it's so buried, but essentially you can come to text frame and go all the way down to options, and vertical justification, I want it to be at the bottom. Another way of getting here, you can right click on your text frame and go to text frame options. And you can also align it to the bottom as well. So 2 ways to get there. I'm really mad at this new update. It got rid of the beautiful button that used to exist on our screens that made it really easy to throw it at the bottom. But this is what your page number should look like. So I'm going to pause for just so once we have a page number in here, I keep saying this should be page 1, but it says page 3, right? And that doesn't necessarily make sense. So what we want to do is right-click in that page number, and wait, I might be lying, sorry. I might want to go to, let me try one other thing. No, sorry, we have to go to the page. So right-click on page 3. Sorry, I led you guys astray. And when you right-click on page 3, do you see where it says numbering and section options? That's where I want you guys to go. So again, find page 3. You'll know that it's selected because it highlights in blue. Numbering and section options. And here, do you see that by default it says automatic page numbering, but we can start page numbering at page 1 here? Okay, just click there to start page numbering at 1 and then click on OK. It'll give you a warning because it's like, hey, you already have a page 1 somewhere. We don't have a page number there, so it's okay. And then we've got page 1. And then what we can do now, actually, let me make sure. Did that work for everybody? Does everybody have a page 1? Stephanie, was that a no? Your page number small? So mine is set, I'm zoomed in really close, but I'm at 12 point, which I think will be big on the page. Check the size. But, so Stephanie, yours isn't saying page 1. Does it still say page 3?
No, and it switched the pages, and then instead of page 3, it switched to page 2, and I was super confused, so I'm gonna do it over again.
Okay, sounds good. If it doesn't work, let me know. Let me pause while you guys get those page numbers in there, and then I'm going to show you an easy way of copying and pasting it. Maddie, didn't work for you? What does your page 3 say?
Just says 3.
Okay, so click on page 3 and then right click for me. Okay, numbering and section options. And then start page numbering at 1, right? And then okay. And then with the warning, just go ahead and say okay there. Does it say 1 or 3 now?
Still says 3.
Let me pause this. Now on, no, I didn't pause it. Did I? Glad I could be of service. All right, so for our next page, let me zoom out a little bit. So I've got page 1. I'm gonna grab page 1 and hit Control C to copy it. Okay, so click on it, Control C, and then come down to our new page 3. And make sure it's highlighted in blue. Sometimes you can scroll down, but it's not really on that page yet. And then once you're there, right-click and go to Paste in Place. And what that does is it puts it in the exact same place. Did you guys see that? Paste in place? If it didn't work, go back up to your page number and hit Control C again. Now what I want you guys to do on your own, using the Alt key to make a copy of page 3, drag it over to page 2, and then justify it correctly. So I'm going to give you guys just about a minute or so to do that, and then I will show you exactly how to do it. Okay, so this is where you guys need to be careful because it's super picky. So once you copy page 1, make sure down here that page 3 is applied. When, let me delete this, you might just be pasting it over and over again on page 1. So go to page 1 and maybe delete if you just click on it and delete, make sure there's not another one underneath it.
Well, why doesn't it even say like page regular.
Okay, so if it's not even on there, you have to go back up, click on page 1, Control C. So you have to copy it first. The other thing you could do is click on it, right click again, and go up to copy. Yeah.
Mine's still not doing anything either.
Be more specific. InDesign's open, right? You have a page number? Do you have?
On the third one, but it's still not doing the first.
Okay, so on the third page, does it say 3 or does it say 1?
It says 3.
Okay, so with that, look over here in your menu. See how mine says 1, 2, 1? What does yours say?
Mine says 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so what you want to do is on page 3, right? Right click on it and go up to numbering and section options. Did you find that? And then right now, does yours say automatic page numbering? Click down to where it says start page numbering at page 1 and then click on OK. And now, did it change your 3 to a 1?
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, now try the copy and paste stuff. Now for the rest of you, let's see if this is what you guys did. So if you click on number 3 and hold the Alt key, do you see my double arrowhead? No, you don't. Sorry, you see a red arrow. But on your screen, you should see a double arrow. That allows me to copy it off to this left side. Now, if I go to print preview, am I done? Do you guys see what's wrong with my 2?
Left justifier?
Yeah, right now it's right justified, like the 3. I need to grab it and left justify it. So now it's symmetrical. That work for you guys? Yeah? Okay, so that's how you guys would add page numbers. The other thing that I'd also like to show you guys is how you can add lines, and you could even turn those lines into arrows. Okay, so up here, do you guys see where there's the line tool? Okay, so there is a line tool, and when you click and drag, it draws a line for you. So just draw a line for me. Doesn't matter if it's straight or anything like that. And then under properties, what we can do here is you can change the thickness of it, and you can also change the line type. Do you see how this is similar to the stroke that we add to our frames? Yeah? Okay. And then the other thing that I also want to do, which has disappeared from my menu, but I will find you, we should be able to add arrowheads to the beginning and end of our line. I'll try something here. I will not go back to Classic. I will not go back to Classic. I have to learn how to do it in here. Okay, I'm gonna cheat and go back to classic, only so I can show you what it looks like.
I think it's in, I just found it.
Did you find it?
Under stroke. It looks like.
Oh, do I click on stroke now? You guys, this is so hard.
It says start
I love you, David. Thank you. I didn't have to go to classic. Okay. This is the story of my life. So I teach like 4 different programs, and now like every 3 to 6 months when they do their new cloud releases, I get to learn it all over again. You'll have to do it too. Once you're out of here, you'll have to do it too. But as David said and rescued me, click on stroke, and right after type, do you see where it says start and end? So you can come down here and click on essentially arrowheads. I know those don't look like arrowheads at all. Let's do triangle on both. And your arrow size, unfortunately, is tied to the weight of your stroke. I wish you could do it separately. So you have a line weight stroke and then an arrowhead stroke as well. Unfortunately, they're tied together. Wait, there's new thing here though. Hold on. Have we found out something new? Let me do this. You guys, I love this. Sorry, this is so not a big deal to you guys because you will have known it forever. So let me go back and make it 100. Okay. So take a look at my screen. There might be a time where you love the look of the dots, but the arrowhead might be a little bit big. You guys with me? Okay. Now, in this new version of InDesign, you can scale the arrowheads. So I can come here and make the arrowhead 50% of the size of the actual stroke weight. So that means that Adobe heard me swearing at them all these years and finally decided to do something about it. Similarly, you could make it bigger. You could make it 150% bigger. Okay. You don't need lines and arrowheads for this project. I just wanted to put it out there. You don't need them, right? I don't think there's maybe one example that had them, but as we were going through the examples, it's like, okay, well, here's an example with a line and an arrow. You guys might want to know how to do it for the future. One other thing, if you wanted to do a round circular frame, you could also do circular frames. And, you know, on those, you could make them, you know, solid. You could put a stroke around them if you wanted to. So again, I just right clicked, and by default it's rectangular frame, but you also can do a circle. So on the very, very first day of that crazy InDesign review, we briefly went over this. And you can also place images inside of these as well. And then with that, that covers the arrows, the circular frame tool, and page numbers. So I'm just going to let you guys work, and then if you guys have any other specific questions, let me know. But I hope that by the end of class next Tuesday, you guys will have a pretty good rough draft for me to look at. But at any point before then, send something to me. Now next week